Many events in our lives are destined, beginning from our birth to the families in which we are born into. Hi everyone, welcome to our channel once more. Merry Xmas. I wish you all the best. It's Lady Gola. Thanks for visiting again. And if you want to know how we do payback from the previous lives to our present lives, just stay tuned to the end of it. Thank you. Well, as I said before, the law of karma has a way of sticking to us. Many things are destined to happen following the last account we had. You know, from the birth, when I talk of, it begins from our birth. When we are being born, there are many memories that are wiped off, that we don't actually remember anything of the previous life. But it doesn't mean that those things are wiped off completely. They remain in our subconscious mind. So there are some accounts that we create. We live our lives creating accounts or paying back the account we have created and we are about to create. The previous lives, there are accounts that we have created, things we have done that we have to pay back. That's the law of karma. It's a give and take. And in our present life, we still go ahead creating other accounts that we will pay in the previous life. That is if we don't settle those things all here. If we don't settle the things that we are doing, the account we are creating, it means that in your previous life, you are bound to pay back. That's the law of karma. Now, in the law of karma, as I keep saying, when we do good to anyone, to another person, it is bound to be repaid by some happiness, by positivity. That is, and it doesn't just count or maybe comes with a simple thank you from the person. No, spiritually it is being made possible that you get a reward of the goodness that you did, as well as if you do harm to another person, it is bound to generate a dismerit or a sin, which we will still pay back. And a simple I'm sorry doesn't suffice that. It doesn't wipe it off. We'll pay it back. So the law of karma goes, if you go around doing bad and you think you can kind of, maybe your death can cancel that, or you are free after you are dead, you got it all wrong. You're about to pay it back. You will pay it back now or in the previous life. The previous life you come and don't pay back, you will pay it back in another way. You will be reborn, either a female or a male. Either way, you will pay it back. So mind what you do to others, for it will come back biting you on the ass. All right, let me go deeper to explain this. What I mean by we'll pay back what we do, our actions, what we do has a way of coming back to us, either in the previous life or here. Now, if let me give an example. The first scenario now is, listen carefully. If you are born, okay, let me say I give birth to a son, and either way we have an account or something to settle. In the previous life, I can still give birth to that same son, but now a daughter. That is what I mean by the sex can change either way. I can give birth to it differently, but that account has to be settled in one way or the other. All right, let's go to this. if you go around, you borrow money from somebody, like huge sum of money, right? And you are unable to pay that back, and something happens and you give and you pass away, like death takes you away. Don't go smiling, no, that you have given up that day, you have gone and you are free from the debt. No. In the previous life, in your previous life, you will come back. Maybe like your debtor's son or daughter. And in either way, you will pay back that money in the previous life. Maybe you work and your first salary, you just feel like you should hand it over to your dad completely, or you hand over to your mom. That's you paying your debt you had in the previous life. All right. If it doesn't, if it maybe just like cousins, have you ever seen somebody like the first time and you just feel some negative rage? You just feel something about that person. Yes, it's because in your previous life, there is a subconscious thing back in your mind about that person. You can't actually figure out, why do I feel like this about this person? It's because you people have an unsubtle score that you will settle in that previous life. Okay? In one way or the other, it has to be settled. The person will pay back that money. All right, there are these situations in families where you get an auntie that everybody knows, this one has, she doesn't give her money to anybody. Her dime doesn't drop down. But that same auntie gets up and just fall in love with one of her niece or nephew and decides to maybe give us a huge sum of money, start capital, start business somewhere. Or maybe she just decides to pay your tuition fee for 2 years. Know that she's paying back what she owed you in the previous life without knowing it. It is not just for mere love or nothing. Yes, I'm not denying it, that love, love attraction, law of attraction can happen and somebody helps you without something, but most of it is our accounts that we are settling down. Now, there are some people who are reborn into the present life and to pay back their debt or to settle their debt. You're born into the present life in which you are in and instilled in a bad condition, like in a humble family, like you grow up and you are still poor and unable to pay that debt. What happens here is you can get free of it if that person subconsciously get into a spiritual practice, like you get into prayers. When that happens, consciously we get up at times and we just feel the urge of belonging to a Christian life or to a certain religion, or just falling in love with spirituality, with spiritual practice, and you get yourself involved in it. That is nature trying to push you to pay your debt in another way. So when you get into spirituality, into that prayer life, into a prayer mode continuously, in the spirit realm, it helps you now in settling your debt in another form. Look at what happens. The person you owe might win a lottery, or get a good job that will pay that person. But mostly it is some kind of a lottery, that money that comes free. And the money always ends up to be the exact amount or around that amount you owe that person. So it comes to him in another form. Because of your level of spirituality now, then your debt is being paid. And you can die here and reborn into a new life debt-free. So when we go around doing some funny things and you're just hoping let death come and pick me up so that I'm free from this, know that somehow you will be born in that same family again. Whether boy or girl, you will be paid in that family. You'll be born in that family to pay that debt. So most of us are being born in one and the same family to pay the debt, to settle the account that we created in that life. You know, there are some siblings that go for years without communication, without dialogue, with rage, with anger, and one suddenly passed on, unsettled. Or, you know, a father and a son getting into a rage, and one finally passed on without settling that account. One way or the other, one of you would deliver the other person and settle that score. So when we are doing something, remember that the law of karma is waiting for us. Thank you for being here today. If you did love this, don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe. Please ring the notification bell for us, okay? Thank you so much. I'm waiting for your comments right down there.